Hello everybody and welcome to the Celtic Unrestricted View podcast. My name is Ryan Clifford and join me in this episode it's Jason. Well Jason, massive weekend it was there mate. But heart attack material shall I say mate. St Johnstone game obviously, the post-match of that mate, and obviously the big match tomorrow. Another Champions League game mate against RB Leipzig, the return leg in the group. So a lot to talk about in the next hour or so. Obviously, first and foremost, we hope you're well. Had a good weekend. I know you're a sober man, mate. So you were at a wedding and you're slightly sober. I was at a wedding, I wasn't, mate. So fair play to you, mate. Hope you enjoyed your weekend, mate. I did. Hope you did as well, mate. And obviously, I look forward to the game tomorrow. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I was sober, man, but the tiredness kills me. I feel like I've got a hangover. I can assure you, man. But no, it was a good weekend. Just watching two of my good pals getting married, so it was a good occasion. But Saturday was a bit heart attack material, as you say, mate. Do you know what I mean? But as we do what champions do, we got the result and we got a good response when we were going down in the 93rd minute. I heard there was horns and all that tooting when it went 1 each. That lasted well, didn't it? It lasted long. So, as I say, mate, we do what champions done. We managed to see it through. That, for me, results like that, that's what wins you titles. We done it last year with Ross County. And it's the same with that one yesterday. We look back at the end of the season, we'll be like that. That's it. That's the game that could win as a title, mate, in my opinion.
I would say so, mate. End of the day, mate, that's 3 points wins your leagues, mate. 3 points wins you go towards winning your titles. And games like that where you might have no been at your pomp, at your best of quality of play, etc., missing chances, and then obviously the last bit of the match they were kind of pegging his back a wee bit, which it's only natural, I feel. But it shouldn't have got to that stage. But in terms of the last minute goal, let's be fair, mate. Sometimes they're the goals you celebrate the most. They're the wins you celebrate the most because it's the last minute. And we obviously knew, let's be fair, we knew St Mirren were going to no win the match. It was going to be very hard for Rangers to obviously at that point. You just couldn't see it, especially after getting beat off Liverpool. You just spent the bounce back and won the game. So it was all down to us to continue the top of the league and put the pressure on the empty chases. So in terms of obviously the game, mate, made a few changes. We did say in the chat beforehand that maybe he made too many changes. We were thinking it's still good enough to beat St Johnstone, but was it going to be one of the things again why you make too many changes? But by winning the game, it's kind of forgotten about. But for me, at the start of the game, I was a bit no suspect, but I didn't think he'd have made too many changes. I think me and JP said before it maybe 1 or 2 changes. I didn't expect 5 or 6 again. So, but we won the game. So, in hindsight, now you can't really say anything. But I just thought in terms of the performance, it wasn't great. It wasn't brilliant. It's no Celtic we've had in the last few months or year or so. But you know yourself, mate, you can't play well every game. We're going through a blip at a stage where we're not performing to our highest levels, but we're still winning games. I've only lost 1 domestic game in basically a year, mate. So you can't criticise too much, but you can only criticise or praise in what you see, mate. But I thought individually, I thought there was a few players that were very, very good, but I just think as a team, we won the fantastic, we won the great, but we got the win, mate, and that is the most important thing, is getting the 3 points.
Mm-hmm. No, I think I looked at the starting lineup and it was you'd been forced into the one change with our captain Carl McGregor being it, so we were forced into that one. But I fully thought Abelgard was going to come in, and he never. Messi Hatati was playing in that role, which I thought he'd done very, very well. By the way, that guy is unbelievable, and it's really, really hard to think that he's only been playing football for 3 years professionally. Anyway,
crazy that, isn't it?
Mate, I still can't believe that when I heard that. So I think there was individually. I thought Bernabé had a great game. I thought Ralston had a good game. I think we were talking earlier on. We've got 2 cracking left backs there, by the way. I'm sort of, you talked about earlier on, I'm with you. I believe he was signed to come in and play, but Taylor's been playing that well that he couldn't get into he can't get into the squad. Wouldn't be shocked if Bernabei played tomorrow, but I think Taylor will play. And I think we're creating enough, but I feel we're trying to be too cute again. We're trying to be too cute in the perfect goal, and I don't understand it, mate. You know, we created so much in that game, but it's not a blip. I think with the St Mirren beating us, a wee bit of doubt maybe crept into their head a wee bit, you know, but they've reacted well with getting 2 wins in the bounce. And I think that, as you said, we all said it in the group chat, that the 3 points is the most important thing yesterday, mate. Aye, you want the performance, but like I said earlier, when we first started, you can look back, you can go at that. That's when it turned for us, when we were up to Perth and 1-2-1, we scored in the 95th minute. We done it with Ross County last year, when, I don't know if you were the same, but when we scored that goal against Ross County last year, I was like, that we're going to win the league. That's when I was like, we're going to win the league. But Ange has said he's going to be using his squad, so I think we need to get used to him, mate, these 4 and 5 and 6 changes coming in. So, I think, I don't think we played, I don't think we were poor, but we weren't great. But that's because of the standards that we as a team has set ourselves. Don't hit them for maybe 3 games, you'll like that, what's going on here. But like I said, mate, 3 points down the road, we'll keep going.
Aye, maybe commenting there, the 2 Ronnies, no, it's just the 1 Ronnie and Jason, right? No JP and JP's not well. All the Celtic fans who listen to the podcast, obviously JP's a bit unwell at the moment, but he'll be back soon. Aye, Jason, I do agree with you, mate, in terms of sometimes scoring last minute, it's the feeling of it, and you bounce in the next game, it's adrenaline.
It can give you a jag, it can give you a jag. Do you know what I mean? It can turn that. It can turn it into being where you can go, we can do this. It can turn that St Mirren defeat, and at the moment where he going like that, well, no, we can win this league, or we are the better team. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. Obviously, you mentioned a few guys here. Bernabei, I did say when he signed that, I don't see Argentinian games, but from what I looked at his stats before and the way he plays, the way we play, etc., the fact he's a young guy, we've paid $3.5 million, I genuinely believed, and obviously we spoke to Seba as well. He was quite high on his quality and what he could do for us, and I'm sure he's had 1 cap for the Argentinian team as well. So I did believe at the start of the season he was bought to be the left back. That was what I generally thought. I know we paid money for ball and goal, etc. Again, he was probably bought to be the left back when he signed. It just didn't work out after that first season. But Greg Taylor for me wasn't bought to be the left back. I thought it was probably going to be Bolly. And you had day 2, and then but now Greg Taylor's got competition. I think Bernabei's came. It's no game I kick up the arse because he did play well last year. But in terms of pushing him on, if I'm not performing here, then I'm going to be on the bench, because last year he didn't really have anybody to cover him. It was mainly Adam Montgomery and stuff that came in, so he didn't really have an able understudy to come in and be there for him. So it was really his position. And I'm still critical of Taylor in a way. I know he played well. He's played well recently against in Europe, but I thought the first 10-15 minutes of full team against Leipzig were a bit shaky, especially down Taylor's side with Jota as well. I still feel people think, for me anyway, some fans think because one guy has 2 or 3 good games and that same superstars or that same brilliant. Greg Taylor's been very good for Celtic. I feel that Bernabei might overpass him. For what I've seen against St Johnstone, I thought it was really good. But again, I can't say that he's going to play ahead of Taylor because he's had 1 or 2 good games. I think it's Taylor's jersey to lose, 100%. I rate Greg Taylor, but he listens to the podcast and know I'm like his fan. But you can only comment on what you see, and what he's doing is phenomenal so far, this season. And the last season, basically, since Ange came in. So I can't criticise him until he has a bad game, and then you'll comment on that game. I don't comment on the past. I only comment in the game I see. If you're poor, as a fan, I'll say, look, that wasn't good, that wasn't good. But you do remember, like, you try not to criticise too much because obviously what they have done, but you can only comment on what you're seeing. And I thought Bernabeu was really good. He looked really fit, really strong, physical, takes any prisoners. He likes a tackle. He was up and down. It was the delivery for Jackie Marcus was exquisite. It was absolutely brilliant. In my opinion, anyway, I thought for me as a striker, Jason. That's the deliveries you want. That's just it makes your job easier because all you're really doing is making the movement. Because I've played it wide as well, right? You're always told you do your job and hit the ball in the box. You hit it in the target between basically the goalkeeper and the penalty box. You hit it there, and your forwards got to do the rest. So you've done your job of doing that. So he's done his job, but Jack and Marcus has went there and done his job. But I thought the full game, he was doing the line, he was whipping balls in, and I think his delivery is very good. The first few games we've seen him, he's definitely improved. I think he's going to be a player that maybe for next year. I think maybe because I think he signed a 4 or 5 year deal. So, and Ange says he will be a very, very good player for the future. He basically signed for the future. But I do think in terms of him and Taylor now, again, just for what I've seen for the weekend, I don't think he'll play. I think Taylor will play tomorrow unless Taylor's if he's been injured or whatever. But I know Anthony mentioned that today, so Taylor probably will play. But you know you've got Bernabeu to come in, and you know that he's comfortable and he will do a job for you, even if it is against Rangers or Real Madrid away or Shakhtar at home. You know he's got to do a job for you because based on the game of St Johnstone, for me, Jason, he's definitely going to be competition to Taylor now.
100%. It was one. He put a cracking ball in the first 10, 15 minutes. You know, it just needed somebody to touch it in. You know, so as you're saying, his deliveries, they're perfect. Mate, Greg Taylor's been absolutely unbelievable. Just how Ange has got a tune out of him. Because when he was there at first, I think we were all, especially on the season that we were raised for memories, we were just like, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? But it definitely is his jersey to lose, 100%. But mate, Bernabeu's quality, you can see that. Even in the League Cup game he came in up at Dingwall, we were saying how good he was. But I think that could be as well because he's getting the time. Because suppose if we're in a position where we need to rush him in, he's getting the time to settle into the country and understand the club and get in the chat that Andrew's just bedding them in nicely. And that's a good position to be in, mate. Do you know what I mean? But I think Taylor will start tomorrow. I'd be very, very surprised. But I did say in the chat the other day that if Bernabeu started, I wouldn't be shocked either. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like right back and all. When Juranovic doesn't play, I'm not that worried because I know that Ralston's going to come in and he's going to play very, very well. And I thought Ralston had a good game again on Saturday. But I am, in regards to Bernabeu, mate, I've got no complaints with him at all.
I did think, obviously, Bernabeu started, Hasanbegovic came in. I thought he was really, he does remind me a bit of number 10. He just plays everywhere. For me, he seems the sort of guy, for me, that will play anywhere in the front line. I know he kind of played in centre mid, roughly, because Abada was out wide. Him and Abada were kind of swapping my boot, but I think that gives us more options because, you know, for me, Jota could play anywhere in the front three. I think he could play from the middle, he could play a 10, he could play left or right. Kyogo, ideally, you don't want him out wide. He is a central striker, but if you were struggling for bodies, you could play Jack and Marcus up front, Kyogo left, Maeda right. You've got all these options up front. And from my opinion, it's only going to give you a lot of options in terms of the European side as well and domestic because you can swap and change because some of these teams are not going to select in Scotland. Most of them last year would have probably expected Abada and Jota to play. I know Maeda played at the end of the season, but it was a Jota and Abada most of the season. Now, some of these teams, in my opinion, in Scotland anyway, Jason, they're not going to really know who's going to be playing out wide. Probably Jota's going to play every week when he's fit, right? But the other position's up for grabs. Even I know I don't think he's going to play a lot, but James Forrest done okay when he came on as well. I don't think he'll start a lot of games, Jason. But that's the last 2 games he's come on. Before that, he didn't have a sniff. So we don't know what's gone behind closed doors. But is it an injury or is it? We don't know. But even though I don't think he's the James Forrest that he can really contribute as much as I think as he used to do, but he's still an option if need be. So you've still got a lot of real good options there, mate. And I think it will. I'm not going to say it's going to confuse teams, but it's going to play mind games with teams like who they got, because they kind of line up thinking it's going to be the same team because, like you say, with the options we've got. But I thought Haskell Barnes was really good, mate. He's very quick. He's nippy. He's direct.
I think he'll play tomorrow.
For me, well, I know we'll talk about St John's game, but we may as well just talk about it all. But I do feel, in terms of the Mora, I think if Jota's no fit, but I think Jota will be fit. Right? I don't think it's a game that if Jota's even 70% fit, I think he plays, or even he plays 60 minutes. I'd rather play him and get 60 minutes at him, or even 55 minutes at him, or whatever, and no have him starting. I'd rather start him and bring somebody fresh on the bench. But again, then you could put him on the bench and play the last 20 minutes if you need a goal, but I'd rather start him. Start your best team if he's not going to be injured on the game. But I think it'll be. I do believe if Jota's fit, it'll be Jota and Abada. Because for me, again, I'm not criticising Maeda because I think he does different jobs. They all do different jobs for the team. Abada's very good. He's direct. Hakiban direct. Jota are direct. Abada's delivery might not be the best, but his goal scoring and his assist records for a young guy, Jason, it's phenomenal. I think some guys forget he's only 19, 20. He's a young guy. And last year I thought he fell in the deep end. I don't think he was meant to man start right away because he was so young and because the squad we had, he had to play, and he's been brilliant ever since. I think Maeda is very good at a high pressing game. He doesn't give people a minute, but I think they three are technically better than him in terms of no ability, just in terms of technical ability, hasn't been direct. And Maeda's not so. I know he has took on guys and by guys, but in terms of doing it constantly, like soon Jota gets the ball, he's direct. Abada direct. Haskell Barnes, they're just on guys all the time. And I think in terms of the Mora, I think we need that. I don't think the game's going to be. We don't need to high press because we're at home. We're not away from home. Away from home, I feel Maeda's better at doing that than maybe Abada, because defensively he can trap back quicker. But the only thing for me is the Mora, Jason. We'll touch on it now when we go back to St John's game. I know we're a bit to and phone here, but I hope when those far apart, that was the thing that really kind of frustrated me during the game. I noticed it very early on was Juranovic was there and Maeda was there. And I thought it was eventually you're going to get caught out with doing that. You can't play too far apart, and that's what I didn't like. Hopefully that, obviously you're at home, you're going to be more expansive, you're going to try and win the game, you're going to try and get an early goal. I would probably think as well to settle us down and settle the crowd down, because the longer the game goes, it's just the way fans go. If it's not for each, we're going to get a bit nervy because you want to get a goal, you want to get a head start, you want something to hold on to. I just feel that's got to be minimalised because we know the quality they've got up front, Jason. They might not be the best in terms of defensively, but going forward, they are quality. There's no doubt we've seen that last week. And Kunku is very, very good. Werner does the forward line very good, but he doesn't really defend. So I do believe the defence has to be solid. But in terms of how we play, mate, it's interesting. And if Hasaman does play.
I think I'm sure to be you on the whole Jota thing. I think if he's 60%, he'll start him. But I think Jota play. I think he'll play Haksabanovic anyway. To be honest, I don't think it'll change much. I think Giakoumakis for me has to start tomorrow, mate. Got to start for me. I think he's done more than enough now to merit a run in the team. The guys, every time we start, he wins. and he scores when he starts. So I think Giakoumakis has got to he's got to start tomorrow, I think. And if it was me, if I didn't play tomorrow, if I didn't get a run in the team, I'd be champing the door, but I would. I need to get a run in this team. Do you know what I mean? I think I just feel that, especially in Europe, he's massive. I mean, you seen it on Saturday. They can't deal with him because he should have had two. Let's be honest. He should have had two on Saturday. But I think the more an early goal will settle us. Leipzig didn't look that great actually going at the back. To be honest, I was saying that to my dad when I was watching it. I says, look, they're not that comfortable at the back, but they're frightening going forward. They're very, very good going forward. I think a lot of fans maybe underestimated how good they were because they get beat 4-0 off Shakhtar. But their manager, Mark Rose, he's getting a tune out of them now. Like, you can't have a front four of what they've got with Werner and Nkunku, and they'll be a good side. So aye, but I think defensively we really do need to be on it tomorrow. Last week we were talking about it at half time, about how much space we was getting. See, the first time we done it and we closed them down, we got a goal for it.
Yep.
We scored from it. Do you know what I mean? But I think last week when we got that, when we equalised, we went into survival mode for some reason, rather than trying to maybe get another one, because we created. It's been a story of our Champions League. We've created so many goals, but we've created so many chances. We just can't put the ball in the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? And but I think the more if we get an early goal, well, as you say, it will calm it down, and we can hopefully get a result. But I think Haksabanovic, even if Jota's fit, I think he's going to play him anyway. I think it will be very much the team that played on Saturday, apart from probably, obviously, Juranovic is going to come in, and probably Taylor. But I don't think much will change. Probably make the 3 changes, Giakoumakis, and the day 2 changes, for me, that would be it. But then again, if Big Jens is fit, does the big man win? Because it's like you with Greg Taylor. I'm Stephen Welsh's biggest critic, but the last 2 games he's been all right. He's been all right. Do you know what I mean? He was really good actually in Germany last week, and he was all right on Saturday. So I don't know. Does he keep Welsh there? Because obviously Starfelt's still a few weeks away, isn't he? So I don't know if Big Jens is there. Does he maybe come in? I don't know, mate. That's one of those ones.
I think that's probably the biggest decision he's got to make, I think, as a team. Does he keep Welsh in, who has done well the last 2 games? Or does he bring in maybe a bit more experience in Jens in terms of... Jens is only, I think he's only 23, but...
he's comfortable, but...
Aye. Again, Victor's well playing if he's obviously friend of the day, so it's somebody to partner him. Again, I'd probably say, if I'm just talking about ability-wise and who I'd probably play Jens, but if Welsh is strapped, then if I was Welsh, I'd be a bit disappointed. I would be, because he has played well in the last 2 games, especially in Leipzig. I thought he was actually one of the better players, to be honest with you.
He was really good, actually.
I think maybe the player that will be vital for us tomorrow, Angelo mentioned it in the comments, Hatate. He was very, very good at St Johnstone. He's brilliant, Jason. I think he's well, anybody who listens to the podcast, we spoke to Dan Horowitz for the Japan Times at the start of the season, and in last January, and everything he says, Jason, if anybody wants to listen to the podcast, they are available on Spotify and YouTube. We spoke to Dan, and he gave a lowdown on 23 players. So far, obviously, Ideguchi's been injured, Jason, but he was kind of right about Ideguchi. He says, I don't think he'll be a flop. I just think he might be the guy that if he does not really do well with the 3, Maeda or 4, Maeda, Kyogo and Hatate, they're going to be belters. He says, so you can forgive Angelat because the 3 will be superb. And so, obviously, Ideguchi's been injured and he's not had the green in terms of playing. So, but in terms of what Dan says, Jason, he's been spot on. And especially about Hatate. For me, the guy is phenomenal. He's ball playing for passing and taking the ball out, he's got a bit of dagger about him. I still feel we need a bit more dagger for other players. I think that's a big part of the team I'm missing in terms of that side of the game, the dirty side of it. But in terms of just him as a whole, mate, I think it'd be vital tomorrow because St Johnstone again, I thought was really good. He's got an eye for a pass. He's just very comfortable in the ball. In terms of value, again, mate, it's another signing we've got in terms of value. He's 100%. Again, I think as long as Andrew's here, I think he'll be here. But he's another player. Again, I'm not selling my players. I'm just saying he is somebody that can go to a bigger team in terms of us, but you know what I'm talking about, Premier League, etc. He's definitely somebody that will get you money if we want to sell him because he's a belter, and I think he will be very, very vital tomorrow because I think the midfield, I know we're saying we need to defend better, but if we get a grip in the midfield, then you win half the battle because obviously Mr. McGregor, they giving away. I know we say we need to move on, etc. But McGregor's a massive miss tomorrow. He's a bigger miss tomorrow than he will be in any league game, even against Rangers. He's a bigger miss tomorrow because these are his experiences and says in the presser. No, a lot of these guys have got a lot of Champions League experience. He's got experience in Europe, Europa League, internationals, Euros. He's got every experience you want in a player, basically, apart from playing in like the finals of these competitions. He's got just about every experience you can get as a player. He's won trophies at the highest level. He knows what these games are all about. So he will be a massive miss, but you've got to be confident in these guys will step in and play. I think Atati will do a massive, massive play for us tomorrow, mate.
Aye, listen, he's different gravy, man. So he is. He's just he's just, mate, he's one of those players that no matter what position in the midfield you ask him to play, he'll do it. I thought on Sunday he completely and utterly bossed middle of the park. He was involved in everything. And he's just because he was involved in the first goal because he played the ball, he hit Kabanovic. Do you know what I mean? Mate, he's unbelievable. He could walk into half of the teams in that Premier League. It's not even up for debate. That's how good I think he is. And he'll be vital tomorrow because he's got everything. Do you know what I mean? He can ping a pass, mate. The thing that sticks with me the most with Hatate was that pass against Real Madrid, not the first 5 minutes. And he took that pass and didn't even look at the player, mate. He knew where he was. Now, wow. But I'm with you. I think as long as Andrew's there, he'll be there. Then he's going to be vital in what we've got to be. What we're going to do tomorrow. He's going to dictate a lot. You know, as we're saying, no, McGregor's a massive loss. There's no denying that. You know, I think we all knew that it was going to be a long one when he went off, and then it was confirmed he was going to be to after the World Cup. But I think Hatate will sit in there. I thought it was going to be Abelgard, to be honest. But I think the way Hatate played on Saturday, Big Andrew about that. No, he can just play there the now, and we'll move it about. At the other side of him, I think he'll build his midfield around him now until McGregor's back. I think that he's, mate, unbelievable, mate. It's frightening how good he is.
He's very good, mate. And obviously in that St Johnstone game, he did create a few chances for us in terms of assists, 2 chances. Again, there's something I would say about the St Johnstone game, mate. We need to finish the chances. I know you've won the game, so it doesn't look like it's any issue. It's not an issue, but it will turn to issues when you're kind of scraping by games. Again, so when I say scraping, we did have all the ball. It's just made in terms of the performance-wise, it wasn't flowing, it wasn't it's just because that's not what we expect. That's just what we expect. We expect us to be fast flowing, and again, I just think it's maybe not me personally, Jason, because obviously I know I have seen just mainly success with Celtic, but you know if you played the game, you know football's no every game is different. You've not got a divine right to win. You don't need to play well every night. Every game, but you need to play well, but it doesn't always happen because that's football. Teams part of the boss team is try and play past you, and sometimes you don't turn up. That just happens. But I think sometimes being a bit spoiled recently because of how successful we've been. I know apart from the season we all know about, we've been quite successful. So sometimes we need to just take a step back and go, right, okay, we've had 2 to 3 shaky, 2 to 3 under par performances that we're used to. But it's apart from the St Mirren game, it's not been utter dross. It wasn't the best against St Johnstone. The second half, I thought, after the match, I was a bit, that was shite. That was this, that was that, that was this. But then when I actually look at the game, we did control the game. It was just no free-flowing football, missing chances. But defensively, it's only going to be in that situation when you're 1-0 up with 10, 15 minutes to go. The opposition are going to hound you. Do I think that's the way it should have went? No, it shouldn't have got to that stage because we should have been clear by half time. In my opinion, with some of the chances we missed. Abada missed a sitter. Again, I thought that was criminal for Abada. I thought he's got to finish it. He's got to finish it. If I missed that on Saturday and Sunday, mate, I'd be getting my boss job. Do you know what I mean? So
see the thing is, but look, when it gets through to him, you're already sort of half celebrating because that's a goal, and then bang through the bar. But seeing that, I know, but you're saying, seeing the first half, Ryan, we've hit the post and hit the bar as well. Do you know what I mean? It's we're lacking that wee bit up top there. Yeah, it's just we shouldn't have been in that position where it is 1-0 with 10 minutes to go, because I seen when I was watching it, I'm like that they're going to score. It was coming because they hit the post about 10 minutes before they scored. St Johnstone. But
I agree with you, mate.
You've played football, do you know what I mean? And as you've just said, when you're 1-0 down and you've got 10 minutes to go, you're like, come on, we're in this. And you did.
I did. Frank Kennedy for YouTube, all right, mate. JP's not well, mate. He'll be back soon. I know he's missed him. Missed his shite patter.
JP's getting major love tonight, isn't he, man?
Aye. No, he'll be back soon, mate. He's just a bit unwell at the moment. K-Boy, you need a Mojo back. ACP, still fancy a 2-1-1. I think in terms of the way performance-wise, a Mojo the way we're used to, I do agree with you. But I still, the fact that we're still winning-ish, we're still winning. We've only lost one game in a year, basically, domestically. No sure mistakes from Hart and all. Aye, mate, I agree with you. We need Joe Hart to be very sound tomorrow as well. But Jason, I do agree, we just need to be a bit more clinical. That's probably the only criticism in terms of that as well, because at the end of the day, mate, see, as Anne says...
I don't know where it's came from, but because see, before that St Mirren game, we were banging them in.
Aye, it's just
the international break came, and we've just stopped. We just can't finish.
I think it was again, Jay. I think Ange's learned for that. I think he did make too many changes. I know he done that at the weekend, but in terms of attacking wise, it was again. It's just one of the games, mate. It was a repercussion, basically. It was a repetition, basically, mate, of the game last year when we hounded them and I don't think St Mirren were great. They done their job and they done what they had today. They done what all they could do was defend and try and counter attack. But we were just poor. But in terms of obviously the game St Johnstone, it was I thought it was a bit of hard watch sometimes because it was a bit slow and passive. But I'm saying that, right? But see, if you look at the stats, you wouldn't think that. That's why I'm saying sometimes stats don't tell the story. You think we had all this possession and all these shots and goals. You think we were playing quick football. We weren't really compared to what we're used to. But you can't be too negative because you've won the game. And in terms of obviously the winning goal, mate, I thought McCarthy done well when he came on. Again, I still believe McCarthy's a very experienced player. He is quality in what he does. Actually, fans might go, oh, he's come on in pre-season. Yeah, Bobby, listen, pre-season, we weren't very good in pre-season in terms of performance-wise. But But in terms of his input in the game against St Johnstone, mate, I thought he was very good. He was ruthless. I don't know what happened to the St Johnstone player. I've not heard what happened to him. I know he got injured. I hope he's all right, but I know he pulled up. But McCarthy just went past him. Sorry, mate, I'm getting that ball. And his determination, his fighting desire. That's not a guy that's lacking confidence. It's not a guy that's pissed off. He's on the bench. That's the players you want in your squad. Listen, mate, there was times where I was on the bench for 6, 7, 8 weeks. But every player, obviously being amateur, mate, and 21s, whatever, it's different. But when you're playing at that level, you can't sulk on the bench. You go, oh, I'm not playing. Hope he's playing shit so I can get on. No, he's come on and done his job. He might know that he's only a 15, 20-minute player now for Celtic. Again, I don't know if that is, but certain players are good for certain things. Like Aaron Moy, come on, done okay again. Good pass as well for, I think it was for Forrest's goal, which wasn't, well, no, it's Forrest's goal, Forrest's chance, the through ball, which wasn't offside, and we'll go into the linesman, Jason. But in terms of McCarthy, mate, I still believe he's quality. I've heard through a grapevine that Ange does like him, but he just can't get in the team because the guys in front of him are a wee bit, well, not a wee bit, they're a bit better than him, but they're playing really well at the moment. Apart from the odd game against St Mirren, they're still winning games, so you can really, I know it sounds daft, we're saying they're not playing brilliantly, but they're winning games, so it's hard to drop guys when you're still winning games and you're not playing well. That's the sign they're champions, and to bring on a guy like McCarthy with his experience, that's a very good option to bring on, mate. Aaron Moy as well. So, a lot of fans aren't too keen on him because I think he's slow, and I think he's quality, mate. But again, there's maybe guys like Hatate. We don't know really much about Aberdeen yet, but McGregor, when he's fit, O'Reilly, they feel hard to pass because of how good they are and how good they've been playing. But the options on the bench, mate, it's very good to have, and no team in Scotland has that. You know what I mean? No team in Scotland's got that. Rangers are sitting like Steve Davis, etc. Aberdeen, they've not got anybody like that. Hibs, Hearts, I know Hearts have got Snodgrass, but they've not got the level of player that we have sitting on the bench. So, in my opinion, mate, I think McCarthy, I think he will start maybe getting more chances, especially after that performance. Like you said, Jackie Marcus. For me, mate, I would start Jackie Marcus, not just because he deserves it. He was so much confidence for that goal for the weekend. His tail will be up. He'll be buzzing for it. And that's why I feel, well, for me, mate, listen, I didn't score fucking thousands of goals, but when he did score, you were buzzing for the next game. You were buzzing to train. You were buzzing. That's how I'm feeling. The euphoria for that goal. The only thing I would say about us with Jack and Marcus, I don't know if you agree with me. I said it in the group chat as well. I think I've said it on Twitter. I've seen a few fans saying he was rotten or that. For me, I'm sorry, I respect your opinion, but he wasn't rotten. He just wasn't in the game because, in my opinion, Jason, you've got to use him properly. He's a better target man and he's a goal scorer, right? He's the way he plays, I think he's brilliant. I really rate him, mate, right? If you don't give him the ball, he's a passenger, in my opinion, because there's no point in having two wingers like Abada and Jota and him if you're not going to get the balls into him. I know he had a few good balls into him, but constantly.
He's a decent cross to put in. He scored.
That's what I mean. But he's always there. He's always there. He's always in position. He was making some fantastic runs, and the players want to find him. And I can see he was getting frustrated because he wasn't getting the ball. He had 5 touches in the first half. That's not his fault. He's not there to do doggies and go back and get the ball. He's there to get the ball played to him. And if you give him the ball, I think the more he'll hold it up, he'll want to play, he'll get behind defenders. He's no lightning quick, but after 2 or 3 yards, he's got that jog of pace. And I do feel that if you're playing him, Jason, you need to utilise, you need to use him, because if you're not going to use him, you better have to let Kyle go play up front and chase your channels. You've got to use him wisely and use him to his strength. Because if you don't, in my opinion, he's just sitting there doing doggies, which that's not his game. You can see him on Saturday, he's getting frustrated. So if he has to play tomorrow, mate, we need to get the balls in the box. We need to use him, because if he's not getting used, mate, he'll get frustrated. And then he could lash out at attack, or he could do something silly. So you need to use him wisely, because he's a goal machine, mate, in my opinion. I think him and Kyogo, mate, they're goal scorers, they're goal machines. So you need to use him wisely.
No, I agree. And I'll go back to last season when he scored at Tynecastle, and then after that, bang, he scored. He got 2 back-to-back hat-tricks and all that. The guy's lethal, mate. he's lethal if you use him the right way. They did it with Kolak. That boy's he's used the right way.
Mm-hmm.
For me, mate, Yakimakis should be totally and utterly deserves a start at running this team, 100%, mate. He's got. He's not. He's got to, man. Not that, mate. I'm not saying that Kyogo's a very, very talented player, but Yakimakis, as you said, he's got that goal, scored the last minute one in his tailway, but it could kickstart him into getting a bit of scoring more goals, and that's what we need now. We need a striker that's on fire, that's going to be on fire. Everything will be him. In regards to McCarthy, mate, we've said this in a few pods now that he's going to do a job, and he came on and won it. He didn't win us the game, but he played a very, 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 very massive part in it. Just to have that vision to keep going. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of players would have stopped with that. He's kept going. I think when he's played the ball, he's took a late foul, I know.
Yeah.
And he's done it. And mate, the last time we played up there, he played very, very well. I don't think he'll start tomorrow, but I think he maybe get a start against Hibs at the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Listen, you don't play down in England for as long as he did if you're not a good footballer, mate.
Mm-hmm.
I think his injuries and all that. I've always said I think he's going to come and do a good. He's going to be not going to be a regular, but he's a player. A very, very good player to have coming off the bench. Same as Moy.
Mm-hmm.
I see Celtic fans that they say that they don't rate him. I kind of work it out. The passing range that guy's got is unbelievable, mate. Because he's no quick. Modric isn't fast. Do you know what I mean? And I think Aaron Moy, you have players like that sitting on your bench, as you said, is unbelievable, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because you're going to need games, especially in Europe, when you need to come on and they need to be slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? The two of them have come on. The two of them have come on Saturday, and both been involved in chances or come on and done very well, and probably give us another wee extra jag and an extra dynamic that we didn't have on the part. But I just think James McCarthy I think he will come good. Do you know what I mean? But Yakimakis, mate, if we use my right way, because we've done it. We put the second half, we put a decent ball in with the header. It was offside, which wasn't offside, and then with the winner, we put two decent balls into that box. He scored the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
He scored the two of them, mate. And I think he's got to be the man now to lead the line. Until circumstances he's not until he stops scoring goals.
I think it's Jotty Boy too. Yakimakis isn't the same league as Kyogo, and GG isn't the same league as Kyogo in terms of ability. I agree in terms of all round ability, right? But that's the joys of what we've got. I don't think that for me, you can't. In my opinion, you can't compare them because they're different players. Kyogo for me is a superstar. In my opinion, I think he's quality. I think he's all round play is phenomenal. Yakimakis is different. He likes the ball in. For me, Kyogo, he can take the ball in, but Yakimakis is better holding the ball up. He's better at that side of the game. Kyogo will run the channels better than Yakimakis. That's just there's two different players. For me, in terms of obviously all-round ability, you'd probably say Kyogo's one of the best in Scotland. If not, again, for me, I would say in terms of all-round player, for me, McGregor's the best in Scotland. About everything, I think he's phenomenal. In terms of special talents, I've said Jota. And just in terms of how talented the boy is and how far he'll go. But we all know, in terms of striking wise, I think Kyogo's, for me, all round, he's the best striker in Scotland, 100%. He's the value again, phenomenal to his goals to game ratio. Like Yakimakis as well, he's a stop-start season due to injury, etc. But I really rate him, Jason. I really rate Kyogo as well. But the two of them are different players and they do different jobs and they shoot different games. I thought Yakimakis, I know Kyogo had a few chances. and was obviously a contributor to the goal in Leipzig. I thought Jack and Marcus would have been better to build their defence, and I think this is why I'm saying him about tomorrow, because she had a chance Kyogo, 2 or 3 chances Kyogo missed. I think Jack and Marcus scores him. In my opinion, just because his height and the header, Kyogo's had. If that's a guy, I just feel there's different games suit different players. Kyogo was superb against Leipzig, what he done, and the chance the header he had, it was some save. But Jack and Marcus maybe a bit taller, he might have been able to score that just because he's height, nothing to do with ability, just his height. But it was some save for the goalkeeper. The style of play Ange wants to play is the pressing game, and Kyogo suits that. But in terms of tomorrow, I think if you do press them, then I think you will get joy. But I think for me, just in terms of being a bully and being a nuisance that way, then that side of the game, I think Jack and Marcus for me would be my option as well. But Jason, we're getting to the stage now, mate. It doesn't matter who plays, because you know you're going to get quality off them, you're going to get a goal, you're going to get a chance. But in terms of all round tomorrow, mate, for your team, who would be your team tomorrow?
Oh, so Joe Hart in goals. You're going to have Juranovic right back. Centre half, I'm going to go with Carter Vickers and Jens. As I say, Welsh played really well the last games, but I think Jens is a lot more comfortable. I think Jens suits our play a wee bit better. He's comfortable with the ball at his feet. I think Taylor will come in at left back. Don't think he's changing the midfield. I think it's going to be the same as it was. It's going to be the same as it was, unless obviously if Jota's no playing, then I think that's for Haksabanovic. And I think he's going to start Yakimakis up front. I think Yakimakis will start up front. Obviously, you're going to have Hatate playing Hatate and McGregor's role. And then you'll have either Abada or Haksabanovic or Haksabanovic and Jota. And then you've got O'Reilly there as well. So I think that'll be it. What about yourself?
I don't think there much changes, mate. But I think in terms of, I think Hartsoft's got to be a goalkeeper, mate. If he was going to rest him, he'd have rest against St Johnstone, obviously for the mistake. But listen, mistakes happen, and I've said for a long time.
Look at the save he pulled off.
Oh, brilliant, by the way. Listen, that's what I mean, right? Fans are half the game.
That's not been mentioned.
No, mate, you're right. Spot on. It was some save at a crucial time in the game as well. Again, he's only doing, again, I think after the game against Leipzig, Macy's were like, all right, maybe we should drop him. But see, that was us overreacting just because he would get beaten what happened. When you actually take a step back, the guy's a number one goalkeeper. He's a quality goalkeeper.
You say things in the heat of the moment when you've just been beat. Do you know what I mean? As you said.
But I do feel that Hart will be goalkeeper. I think that the two fullbacks are picking themselves at the moment with Juranovic and obviously Taylor. I think he will go with Jens, just in terms of maybe I know Jens might not played a lot of European games. I couldn't tell you if it's been Stephen Welsh, as I know he's only playing on loan to the team he came to us from. So again, I think he will play Jens, So with Vickers, that's just the obvious. I think that's the obvious pick in my opinion. Vickers to play with Jens. I just think Jens again. The only thing about Jens is, Jason, that might be in Angie's mind. He had 3 or 4 balls to Leipzig that it was criminal that he passed out, and he's got to. For me, he's got to that back. I know that's in his game, but he's got to that back because they could score for that. You can't do that in Europe. It's already done that against maybe Kilmarnock or Aberdeen because they're not as quick and they're not as quality to punish you. But Jens, if he is going to be starting, he's got to pass the ball to our players, no down the middle. If he's going to make a mistake, you need to date out wide, don't date right in front of your own goal. But I just think again he could. It's not really a surprise, but it would surprise me if he played Welsh just because Wells technically is your fourth choice. Do you know what I mean? So Jens is fit. He brought in Jens obviously to play by the behind the staff out of Vickers. So I think Jens will play. Again, maybe we've all got teams rang before, but if it was me, mate, I'd play Jens. I think the midfield's probably obviously O'Reilly and Atati pick themselves. Haskabanovic hasn't really a centre mid, but he did do well on Saturday. Do you play him there and just let him float about, or is it the game for maybe Abelgard to come in?
He's a big unit. On Jota, mate.
He's a big unit. So I think he will go with the same midfield. I think he will play Haskabanovic just because again he'll be in a high. He played well. Don't need to drop him. No drop him. You don't need to put him to the bench because he's done well in my opinion. So I would play Haskabanovic. But again, you've got. By the way, I know it's going to sound daft, but even McCarthy's like that. Well, I've done superb to have a chance here. But I don't think he will play him. I think McCarthy knows he's role in the team now. I think he will stick with the three in the middle. Obviously, there's a few comments about Ideguchi. He's no in the squad. He's no registered. The Champions squad. I think Abelgard will win the bench. I think Abelgard will play some part of the match. I think he will come on. In my opinion, I think it will be the same team in terms of that. Again, Jota's fit for me. This is my opinion. Again, answer's different. I would play Jota, Giakoumakis and Abada. If Jota's no fit, then I think he'll play Maeda. Or he could put Haskabanovic out wide and put Abelgard in the middle. There you go. It shows you how many options we've got now. You can chop and change guys. And
you get Tumble fit, I know again.
And Tumble as well. But by the way, there you go as a shout. If Tumble's fully fit, he could play. Because Jason, you know me, I rate Tumble. I think some fans are really quick. I think people are quick to judge him because he's Scottish. If what he does, if he was Spanish or something, they'd be raving about him. In my opinion, I think he's very, very good. He might not be the player they know that's going to be amazing at the top level. He's still a young guy. He's still learning his training the game at Celtic. He's only been here a few years. But I rate him highly, and I think eventually the more he plays with us, the more he'll get in with Scotland as well. But I do feel that it's maybe Giakoumakis' shot up front, just because I think what he brings to the team in terms of what we're going to go against tomorrow. But again, people think might be different because of the way they play. Kyogo might be better to press him. But I think in terms of tomorrow, it's at home, you'd expect it to be taking them to the cosh. You expect to start quick and be on them. But there will be in the games where we will need to hold the ball and get him a wee breather. So for me, Giakoumakis will be the man to do that. Kyogo, he can hold the ball in, but in terms of longer balls, hold it in, get a breather, get the team up the park, I think he suits that, in my opinion. So I would play that. But we all know, Jason, we can sit and debate all we want. We know the manager's the main man, but I think for me, that's my teammate. I think there's just so many options, mate, that you can play, but I don't think it'll change too much. Obviously, this it all depends on Jota. I mean, I think Jota will be fit, so I feel Abada's going to play.
I think if Jota definitely wasn't playing, he would have said it today. Would have been like, eyes out. You know what I mean? So I think it is just a bit of tiredness. I don't think it's an injury. I think he's tired.
K-Boy on YouTube. Yeah, mate, I'm going to the game, mate. So Jason's no. But in terms of obviously the crowd, Jason, I think that would be a big thing as well. We all know the Celtic Park crowd. Real Madrid were kind of a bit thing with it as well. So with the same atmosphere under the lights, mate, late kick-off, Champions League anthem, you know it's going to be a special atmosphere. Hopefully, the team. I think the team, you sensed after the game, mate, that they were a bit upset in terms of how good the fans were, and I think this might be a game. It's not a repay the fans. It's just we need to try and get 3 points here for the fans. We need to try and give them something to hold on to here because I think
we're no far away, but we said it last week. We're no that far away for Clinton in Europe.
I think for me, mate, it's obviously you've got to score the goals, but I just think defensive wise, I think we're still a wee bit away in terms of being. But again, mate, we're still kind of in a work under progress. This is Ange says it today. Ange says it today in his presser. This is still part of the programme for me. We're learning here. We're still. This is his first campaign in Europe, mate. He's learning as well. So, but I think tomorrow, mate, if you get a win, it gets your tails up, I think, for the rest of the season, mate, because they're a very good team, and I think some fans, not just Celtic fans, I think in Scotland and in general, they seem to think Red Bull Leipzig, just because the Rangers beat them last year, that they're not a good team. They're a very, very good team. Rangers, let's be honest, they done well against them last year, and that's how they won the game. But they're a very good team, mate, especially going forward. They're very good from middle to front. They're very, very quick. They're very attack minded. And we will need to prep for that tomorrow. There'll be spells in the game where I hope no, but just the way football goes, mate, we will get a bit of bombardment for maybe a few minutes of a spell. So we need to defend well, and we need to take our chances when we take them. But I think tomorrow, Jason, the crowd will be vital to the match, because you know when the Celtic Park crowd's up, mate, the players get up and it's a special atmosphere. So I'll be looking forward to the game myself, but it will be a special atmosphere, I think, mate.
Mm-hmm. It always is, mate. Especially I was at the Real Madrid game, you know, and when they played the Champions League anthem, you couldn't even hear it. Don't know if you've done the tour, the Celtic Park.
It's brilliant, mate.
See, when you come out of that tunnel and you look up, that's so intimidating, mate. And that's like it was empty, because you don't realise how big it is when you're sitting up in your seat and all that. Mate, see as a player walking out there and seeing that, you'd be shiting yourself. I think I'm always a great believer of, man. If you want to progress, you need to get results at home. Obviously, we had discounted the Real Madrid one away anyway. We'd already started up basically said we weren't going to beat them. So if we want to finish third or even finish a chance of finishing second, we need to win tomorrow.
Aye,
we can't get beat.
I would say it's a must not lose game, mate. But it's
a must not lose, 100% must not lose game.
I think for me, Jason, sorry to interrupt again, mate, but I do feel that if we want to, again, mate, finishing second in this group is going to be, it was going to be very, very tough, even to finish. We did think that Shakhtar were going to be between us and Shakhtar and Leipzig to finish second or third, but after seeing Leipzig, they will be hard to beat tomorrow, mate. Listen, no question about it. If we get a win tomorrow, I know we beat them in the Europa League, but I think they're a better team. I know
they're a far better team since then.
I think in terms of, I know they're not doing well in the league, but Marco just came in. They've got a jump off the manager. I feel we're a better team than then as well with Rodgers. So they're a quality team. No doubt about it. Shakhtar are an elite team in terms of they're always in this competition. No elite as in quality, but they're always in this competition. They're stuffy opponents. We seen it. We should have won that game, but we didn't. But I do feel that tomorrow is a big. If we win, mate, it's a big bit to our season, in my opinion, mate, because it gets your tails right up, mate. I don't think. See if we don't win, mate, I don't think it's going to be a detriment to the squad. I just think it's just an all learning curve. But obviously, it depends how the game goes, how it goes. But if we win the game, mate, or if you put a fantastic performance and you at least get a point, it's all going to benefit you going forward, mate. Every point and every game you play well is positive. But I do feel at Celtic Park, under the lights, full crowd, after that last minute goal as well, the tails will be up, and you've got a massive chance of getting 3 points considering away from home. Compared to away from home, I did say if we don't lose the game, I'd take a point. I'd be happy. But Celtic Park, we need to start making it a fortress again. We need to start making it in Europe. Teams come feeling. I think teams in the SPL series now, even Rangers, they don't want to come at Celtic Park. Real Madrid get a bit of the wrath. They didn't fancy their chances to the last half an hour. People might say that's a lot of shite. It's no. The players are says it. The stats say that. I just think, mate, under the lights, Celtic Park, the crowd, I feel, mate, it's got the makings of a special game, mate, in terms of, not just for Celtic fans, mate, as a neutral. I think tomorrow will be one of the games I think people outside of Scotland or outside of Celtic and Leipzig can maybe tune into. I think it'll be a very good game, entertainment end to end. I don't think it'll be a 0-0, mate. I don't think there'll be loads of goals. I think it might be a game, mate, where we'll be ticking, mate. We'll be ticking the full game. I think my balls might be a bit shaky, mate. So I do feel, mate, that the crowd, I've got a massive part to play, mate, in it, because you know what it's like, mate. If the crowd are up, and like you said about the tour, mate, I've done the tour as well, and obviously you're in the change room, and the change room is right under the main stand, and imagine having that above you. Walking out to that, mate, that must be, honestly, mate, that must be one of the best feelings in the world. Knowing you're going out to that, because they're right under the seats, they're right under it. Imagine that atmosphere going out to that, mate. That must be unbelievable. What a feeling! And if that can't get you up for games, mate, then you shouldn't be playing football. You know what I mean? That would be, mate. Even just sitting at Celtic Park doing the 20 walk out, I've been lucky enough, mate. I've played at Celtic Park. I've been lucky enough. I'm lucky to have done that. But I was young, mate. It's nothing like a full crowd. But see, just walking out to that, and you see, you think for your seat that it's big, but see me go down to that part, mate. You just see it. It's phenomenal. So imagine coming out to play that under the lights, full crowd. Mate, it is back tingling stuff. It's very, very. Let's fucking go. You know what I mean? So I do feel tomorrow, mate, it's going to make it a very, very special game.
100%, mate. 100%. I think like the Leipzig, if they come out to that, they'll be like, well, hold on a minute here. They're not used to that. Do you know what I mean? But nah, I feel a wee bit more confident, put it that way, than what I did in the away leg. I always fancy us to get a result at home, but in Europe, just because I think we've got the fans. But I wonder if we don't win, or if we're getting beat, we'll be imploding like we were on Saturday.
Mate, let's go into that in the room, mate, because
the last bit for it, right? Okay then.
The last bit of the
You've heard so much shite in all your life.
Obviously, sorry, before we go into the linesman, mate, and obviously the pundits and radio station for the last 5-10 minutes, mate. What's your predictions for tomorrow?
2-1 Celtic. Yakimakis and I think Haksabanovic will score tomorrow.
I'm going to go 3-2, mate. I do think we'll concede, but I do think we'll score goals. I generally believe this is going to be a very good game. I hope it's not the way I think it's going to be, because I actually want to sit and enjoy the game, mate. I don't want to be up, doing and shouting. So, like a maniac, Greg Taylor for losing the ball. As usual. I'm only kidding, Greg. You've been brilliant, mate. No, but I do feel, mate, that it's going to make it a very, very high quality match. Hopefully, at the end, we're the team that's celebrating. But obviously, mate, for the weekend's game, start off with, mate, obviously the linesman. I thought he was quite poor. Again, that's another reason why it was only 2-1, because I think the goal get chopped off. For me, it was a goal. James Forrest came through, no offside. Just seems to be that every offside they was getting. A few were offside, but some he gave. It was very, very tight. And
mate, one out of the three were offside. One out of the three was offside.
Again, I've not played football, Jason, in nearly 5 years, as we're all due to injury. I couldn't tell you the proper rules, mate, when it comes to this now, because it's all changed, right? In my opinion, you can't score for your horn, right? So see if your horn's a bit on our side, it doesn't matter. You can't score with your horn. Your horn is not going to touch that ball. You're not interfering with play with your horn. It's not going to do any damage. It's no how is your see, even this VAR, right? I know we've not got VAR in Scotland yet, right? But see if somebody was offside because their toes offside. For me, Jason, maybe I've been greedy as a forward. You should be getting that advantage. It's your toe. It's honestly, football's gone nuts. I know by the rules it's offside, right? But it's crazy, mate.
It's no offside.
But I do believe.
Mate, I studied that picture that I sent you into the group chat, right? Mm-hmm. If it's saying his hands offside, his hand is in line with the last defenders in front of Anthony Nelson's hand. They're
It's
bang on.
it's
They're bang on line.
It's
Now,
bonkers, mate.
my argument to that is, how can he see that 3 times that's offside, but he can't see a boy getting elbowed in the face? It's a red card, by the way.
Because it doesn't suit the agenda, mate.
Do you know what I mean? So
And their goal as well, Jackie Marcus, was fouled.
Do you know what I mean? But yet he can see that 3 Celtic players are offside. Every time we go in front of them, he put his flag up.
Yep.
He tried his best not to let us win that game.
But this is no us being paranoid or that. This is just a fact. It was there to be seen.
It's a regular occurrence, mate.
Well, to be fair, I think I listened to Go Radio earlier, and Peter Grant was I think he was talking about the penalty of Rangers. He says, "Oh, it's nothing changes." Peter Grant says that, and he's played for Celtic.
How's that a penalty?
I don't even know.
In what fucking universe is that a penalty?
It was true what Jotty Boys too say as well. To be fair, Nkunku's goal last week was tight, but this VAR's killing it. It's killing football, mate.
See where he goes last week. I didn't stand and argue and say, but it was but that was offside. To me, they were goals, perfectly fine goals that Nkunku and that other boy scored last week. I didn't sit and argue about how his fucking baby toenail was offside. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're getting to.
And then, mate, and then it leads on to the big one, mate. As Frank says, Hugh Keevins. Yes, Frank.
We've saved
the best till last. I try my best, Frank, not to really call out pundits to their names, because I do feel that obviously for me they're doing their job. They're very respected. They've done it for years. But in this instance, Clyde scored a scoreboard, and every other fan were absolutely blowing their trumpets at Celtic, one each, and Celtic season's imploding. It's a crisis.
Can't score at one end, can't defend at the next end.
Celtic have conceded 5 goals in the league. Get the best defensive record in the league. Get the best goal scoring record. But yet, we can't score goals and can't concede goals. We're a team that's lost one domestic game in just under a year, but yet because we lost a game and we've had 2 or 3 not the best performances, according to Mr. Keevins, we're falling apart. We're still top of the league, still get the best record defensively, scoring goals, but we're according to as well, Charlie Ricketts last week, again, who brilliant player for Celtic, respectable, very, very well respected footballer, fantastic player, phenomenal player for every club he played for. But he was saying that Celtic are vulnerable and that players are not responding to the Ange anymore. Go on, please. Please tell me, did you hear that? Like,
I never heard that. Did he actually say that?
It was actually Sam that sent in a group chat, and I read a bit.
They call him fucking Campaign Charlie, but that's shite.
He says that Celtic are looking vulnerable and they're not really responding to Ange anymore. Please, right, honestly, right, any Celtic fan, anybody who's Scotland, right, we've lost one game in a year, basically. Apart, obviously, the semi-final, obviously, Rangers, we get beat, but that's, well, technically we do the game, right? For one defeat and domestically. But we are, if you listen to the media, you'd think we were no first. Top of the league, get the most goals, we've got the least conceded, we've won 9-0 this season, and we're not doing very well. But Gio can go to Liverpool and no touch on him. He can go to Ajax and no touch on him.
He can go into the back 8, but it was a good performance.
But he won't. But they won't say anything against Rangers. Even Hibs at the start of the year, they weren't doing very well. Hibs will turn it around, Leeds Johnson will do well. But as soon as it happens to Celtic, it's, Jason, in my opinion, they're waiting for Celtic to fail. Everybody was gutted when Rangers lost the league last year. Absolutely gutted. And I think, mate, they're even more gutted tonight and the weekend there, because All the horns were tooting outside Ibrox. Toot toot. Go and toot Ibrox and watch your team play at winning because Celtic won the game.
There'd been a fucking minute silence for walking up to the turnstiles anyway after that.
There'll be an 18 turner tonight.
You couldn't fucking you couldn't write it, could you?
No.
You know what I mean? It's just that the fact that he actually says Celtic's season is imploding and then less than a minute later, goal flash. And then he has the fucking audacity in the cheek to go, I predicted 2-1. Away you go, Hugh. Honestly, he's made a living out of talking shite. He has. Even last year, he kept going on about how we were shite at the back. Do they watch different games for us?
No, really, mate. They just don't want to play Celtic. Simple as that. Celtic won 4 trebles and hardly got praised. Rangers won 1 league title. St Johnstone won a double. Fair enough. What they've done was phenomenal. But it was everywhere. But yeah, we won 4 trebles and weren't allowed to celebrate the treble. Weren't allowed to celebrate it. But yeah, honestly, mate.
We went that full season, the invincible season. We didn't lose all the games, and it was pure. Oh well done.
But see, the thing is, I know people.
They get packed 2 cups, and you didn't get beaten in the league, and it was pure invincibles. Blah blah blah. It's fucking. It's just nonsense.
Jotty boy too. The horn that was going was Gio's Paw Patrol bite was going to. So I think wee Gio was finished his lunchbox, mate. I think he threw it away because we were on the guy. He's laughing at ham. That's it.
But Brian, can you imagine though, right? See, I'll set the scene, right? They're all getting after the bus, fucking checking the score. Or they've just scored that. Yes. Oh, fucking sun, fucking big smile on their face. The time they get down the stairs of their bus, it's fucking 2-1, raging.
I just think it's funny, mate, in terms of the media. Like, again, people will probably maybe listen to the podcast or maybe see it on Twitter. Like, maybe I shouldn't be bothered by it. It annoys you because I feel that our club doesn't get the credit it deserves. Even see when we get beat, but they're right on your back. They're right on your. Like, I think it was it Hugh Keevins or Keith Jackson or somebody put it up the day or yesterday. It was an article. He says that Celtic and Rangers are basically embarrassing Scotland. I wait there. Celtic Rangers need to go and spend about £100 million to compete with these teams in terms of for longevity in a group. In a 1.5 game, we can do everything. Do they think Liverpool, Rangers, right? Liverpool will probably beat us in their 2 legs. At home, you've got a better chance. Right? Napoli will probably beat us away from home. Every game, you've got a chance at home against the 3 teams, right? But away from home, you'd probably expect Ajax. I thought Rangers were very, very poor against Ajax, right? So I would expect to get the result, but I expect to do all right in Ajax and try and compete. See, as long as I compete,
Rangers would probably beat Ajax, Ibrox.
Listen, they've got a decent chance of beating Liverpool. So I don't want to talk about them, right? But in terms of what this article says, I'm going to kind of stick up for them in a way because do they expect them to spend £100 million and us to spend £100 million to try and beat these teams? We can't do it. We need to try and compete on the night. Celtic, in my opinion, have competed to a certain degree against Leipzig. We've competed against Real Madrid. And we competed against Shakhtar. They've not competed one bit, right? I think their game on Wednesday, they're a bit different. I still think Liverpool win, but they've got a better chance of winning at home. Same with us tomorrow. We've got a better chance of beating Leicester at home because of it at Celtic Park. I don't think it'll be the game the way it was last week. I do feel that we've got a lot to learn still in Europe in terms of this team. But Jason, overall, mate, your overall thoughts of the weekend, the media, the linesman, whatever, and obviously in terms of the game tomorrow, mate, the last wee bit to yourself, mate.
I think regards, I'll take the result. It was the prettiest, but you need to get through these games and you take the 3 points. The linesman is just, they're not even going to fucking cool. You know what I mean? Flag happy. Hugh Keevins just needs to think before he speaks or just stop having cold beans before he comes on air. Would be if he's going out with stuff like that. And I think we'll win tomorrow.
I think, mate, I'm not going to. I know I've said 3-2, but that's just a prediction. But I do feel, mate, it will be a hard game. I think there will be a lot of goals. There will be a lot of action. I do
It's going to
just
be a
hope
good game of football tomorrow.
I do feel, mate. I do feel it'll be a very good game in terms of for the neutrals. Maybe not for us in terms of how the game's going to go. But overall, mate, I think it's again. I don't think we've spoken about anything out of turn that fans aren't thinking. I just hope that anybody who likes the content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's really beneficial to us. It helps the channel and it helps us get the content out to the fans as well. Again, it's all free content. We're on, me and Jason are on Twitter as well. So is JP, obviously. Get well soon, JP. I've got to say, JP, I've got your grapes and look in my bag, mate. I'll get them to you in the morning.
We'll send them up with a wee hot water bottle.
A wee hot toddy. But I do, again, but we're on TikTok as well. And JP's obviously is on Twitter as well. And I've got Instagram, so is Jason, so is JP. Type in the podcast on YouTube and click your wee bell, please, for notifications. And when we go live, you'll be the first to see us. But again, Jason, thanks for your time, mate. Hail, and hopefully we'll get this out tomorrow.
Cheers, mate. Hail, lads.